Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I need a horse. Not really. I have no use for a horse. I do live in horse country, but I've never had much affinity for horses in particular. I've done a good bit of riding and I've known some horses and I don't care about them very much. They're fine. They're cool. Never been a horse guy. But horses in this era are something different. They're power, they're work, they're the ability to do the work of many, many men all at once. And when you got thousands of fucking trees to drag over to a river, a horse would be really nice. Last time on Vinland Saga, we spent our time far, far away from Thorfinn and Einar, instead choosing to focus on a character from long ago, one Canute who has grown into quite a leader. We know because of the history that Canute will be great. We knew because of the framing that Canute would grow into someone great, but we did not know what he would turn into. He is harsh, but capable. There's a point that I want to make on this because it was clarified for me by some people in the audience, and I think it's important to keep in mind. I was curious about the fire setting sequence, whether Canute had actually burned a huge number of villages and killed a bunch of people, or was just presenting a show of force, demonstrating that his forces were everywhere, and letting it sink into this guy's mind just what he was up against. People were very clear in the comments that it was the latter, that it was a show of force, and Canute was choosing to do this in some ways in order to prevent this war, in order to prevent going to war with this man and killing all of his people. Brutal, fucked up, but strategically brilliant, emotionally brilliant. Canute has this deep sense of understanding of others, what makes them tick, and this ability to use and wield that has been forged, from what I can see, out of a willingness to cause harm if necessary, combined with that understanding of what will actually make other people go over the line and make changes in their actions. Canute's fascinating. I wonder if we will be at odds, or somehow find ourselves together again. I don't know. But for now, our main characters have a much more pressing struggle to deal with. The day-to-day life as a slave, performing manual labor in a world where bunch of people on this fucking farm want to kill you. I don't like you so much. Our last interactions with people was murder for fun. Just for funsies. Just for funsies. And they happened to target the wrong people. Because if they had chosen someone else, like if they had chosen Einar to kill, he'd just be dead. He's no Thorfinn. So where do we go from here? I remember two things. One, we need a horse. And two, there's an image of us talking to Snake, a character who's really quite fascinating already. He's got instant command and control of these otherwise pretty rowdy soldiers, mercenaries, and has made himself rather amicable, rather pleasant, rather cool to be with. He seems like a nice guy, or at least somebody interesting to be around. Probably he's brutal and violent and horrible like everybody else, but it becomes clear as we watch the show that being a part of these people does not serve to make them less people. We live in a very different world than these humans did. They lived in one that was steeped in violence, active, visible violence. Ours is pushed back into the background in lots of ways. We don't experience it directly in the same way all the time. We don't become the same kinds of people. But I can understand how these people did. And I'm curious to see how they continue to choose to live their lives. Because that's what we're here for. At Fundament, I'm trying to learn about how to be. And I'm doing this in every show that I watch, whether it's 1,000 Girlfriends Who Want to Be Your Girlfriend or Vinland Saga. No matter the depth or sincerity or level of the show, I'm looking for insights as to how to be, how to exist. Because I believe that being is good and worthwhile, and yet I struggle to live that out, to act it out, to integrate it in a sense that's more than believing. I might be very sincere about that belief, but I want to convert that sincerity into authenticity, to convert it into action, to convert it into directed movement, so that it continues to be so that it becomes better. If being is good, it could be better. If being is not good right now and I believe that it should be good, then I can move in that direction. But I need evidence. I need answers. I need information. I need I need iteration. I need to try and fail. And it's way easier to try and fail mentally inside the safe bounds of a story where you can extrapolate information than it is to go out and try and fail in your real life. At a certain point, the rubber has to hit the road. You have to convert the insights into actions. But man, when you take actions, you can actually get whomped. When you just have the insights, you don't get whomped. So it's really useful to do the insights thing for a while before you take some actions. So I'm trying to find some insights here in this struggling world, one in many ways much darker than ours. How do we move to a world that's better than that? What does winning look like? Because winning isn't you win and then the game's over. Winning's an ongoing process. Winning's an ongoing process where every day is a little bit better. That's what I think it is. How do we do that when we're slaves? How do we do that when we're stuck? How do we do that when it's the grand men who get choices? We little men, we don't get those, right? Canute gets to choose to demolish a village or not, to go to war or not, to do all of these things. In some sense, he's bound to his responsibility of the throne. And I think if I were to approach him with that statement, he'd probably, or someone like him, would have some pushback on that and would be like, I don't have choices either. I'm stuck where I am and I have to go this direction. Like, if I don't conquer, my men are going to revolt against me. Because that's true, probably. But still, he seems to have some kind of agency, some kind of ability to move the needle, to really change the way the world works in a fundamental and material way for lots of people. But Thorfinn and Einar only have the ability to change their tiny world, and hardly that because they are owned. They don't have that agency in a legal sense, in a real sense. Does that prevent them from living fully? I think this is where the thing that I'm getting at. No matter the external circumstances, the place where you find yourself, the things that have been done to you, I think you do still have choices. You have maybe the most important choices you can make because they're the ones in front of you. You have choices about how to treat yourself. You have choices about how to treat the space, physical space around you. And you have, most importantly perhaps, choices about how to treat the people you come into contact with. Thorfinn is a neutered god of death, right? He's a murderous blade whirlwind on the battlefield. And that power that he had to exert himself over the world is gone. He does not have the ability to access that here. In many layers, right? He won't do it. He can't do it. People would kill him if he did it, etc. But he doesn't have access to that. He has nothing and no choices to make. His only choice is go and hit the tree or don't. Up until he has interactions with another person. Now he starts having interactions with Einar and with these other people, and he has choices now. He has choices about how he can interact with them. Hypothesis. Because I think this is true. True, big true. Hypothesis. Those are the choices that matter the most. Those interactions, the way that he interacts with Einar, in a way that he cannot ever even think of predicting, will be the thing that changes reality. The simple, small things in between individual people are the ones that ripple out, like Frieren. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm deeply wrong. But this friendship bond that's forming, it seems like the most powerful thing in this whole goddamn world. Everything's burning, villages going up in smoke, conquest, terror, destruction, and one thing holds really strong. I guess we give it a name in the ending song, don't we? It's love. The love between these two characters holds strong. Maybe that's what winning looks like. I don't know. I think I'm going to draw. I love drawing with no intent. Because now it's like so clear that this is trees. But when I draw it, I'm not thinking of just trees, or even the trees that are there. I'm thinking of aspens. You know, aspens are a colony organism. These beautiful trees. They turn lovely colors in the fall. But they're all linked. Their root systems all linked together. Up above, looking at them like birches or anything else, they look like just a grove, a group of trees that happen to be living together. But they're not. They're really one organism. Their roots are interconnected. Their systems are all one. Maybe that's what I'm thinking. Because it's those connections, right, that I was talking about. The individuals linked. But what if it's a bigger interlinkage than that, right? You might only be interlinked to one other tree because you're at the edge of the grove, but that other tree might be linked to every other tree, you know? So it might really matter what signals or, nutritional sharing you do between yourself and that tree. It might impact the whole grove. Might impact everything. Be great to have a horse. I've been numbering these. I think this is 6. My hope is to do 100 on these smaller papers. Okay, that's it. That's the drawing. That's the idea. We need a horse. We're facing this endless forest of endlessness. Need some help. Let's find out how we get it. I've got episode 5, 6 of Vinland Saga Season 2 up and ready to go. There'll be 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep timer to count you down, early access on the Patreon if you'd like to check it out, and let's go. The dive into the scar is so cool. Blue. Deep blue sky. I can't wait for the skies to be that blue again. Oh. Ooh, the snake. 2 little birds and a snake, huh? Yeah, get fucked, snake. Oh man, yeah, they're just trying to get roots out. That's impossible. Oh, fuck. We need a horse. Einar's not a horse. Mate. Give it up, man. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Damn, it's so deep. It's connected to all the other trees. I've never seen wooden shovels like that. It's pretty cool. I bet we found them in excavations and stuff. Holy fuck, that was way too much work for one tree. Horses are more valuable than people. Who's them, though? Yeah, who do we go to? You need one what? Ah, yeah, we're livestock. Fuck you. I love that his walk immediately because the other guys walk. Yeah. Yeah, fair. But, hmm. Can't do that. We need a better alternative. Yeah, why are you so depressed? Why are you so depressed? Well, he doesn't have anything to live for. And he hates himself. There you go. Yeah. This guy's been here for a long time. He needed a horse like 40 years ago. Oh, he's so clicky. This is this is what our future looks like if we don't get a horse, bro. I wonder who this guy is. He seems sweet. What's up, man? Less sweet. What? You're gonna lend us a horse? But why? But why? Why? Yeah. Oh, he picks rocks from the fields? Oh, is it a trade? Is it a trade for doing his helping him do his work? So he's clearing rubble and rocks from the fields because you got to, so that they can be tilled and grow. Sverkel. Yes. Some We got another field. Let's go. Oh, we're doing something else. Yep. This guy's just making you do all his chores for him. Are you actually gonna get a horse out of this? Is he just fucking with them? Does he not have a horse? Also, who is he? Is he a former slave who's gotten freed? Is this his land? Like, what are we dealing with here? Yeah. Well, maybe. Does he? That's pretty cool. I'm really intrigued by Sverkel. Yeah, that's the question to ask. Is he just fucking with us? No, we're not his slaves. You help me, I lend you a horse. I mean, if the total amount of work you end up doing is less, that's great. Yeah, we're yanking real good. Go, horsey! Go, horsey! This is a good trade. Good horsey. Oh, ho, 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 ho. And so now it's worth it. They have the ability. It's the first time they've had the ability to turn their work into something different. Like for them, now work turns into less work. Right? Good horsey. What's gonna go horribly wrong? Like, this is going so well, I'm scared. That's enough land to start tilling. Just to start. Oh, there's our scene from the ED. He's got that shine in his eyes. We're doing it. It's really possible. Progress. Real progress. Well, it's gonna go horribly wrong tonight. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, hi, kitty. I'm gonna have a kitty visitor. Meow, meow, come here. This is Magnolia. Yeah, no fields. No fields in his homeland, only murder. Fields of death. Hey, no. And if there's anything he knows, it's fighting. Pro da cara, yo. Uh-oh. Sverkel, it's not your horse. Domo. Who is that? The fuck? He's not your horse, guys. It was Sverkel. He doesn't live here. Is he the dad of the guy? That's who he is. That's who he is. The old master? He's the dad of the guy. Yeah, he would never help anybody. He lives on his own and fucks with everybody else. Just working. We got a good friend! That's an important friend, baby. Oh, hello, meow. She has found a comfy spot on my bed. That's good. Well, we're actually plowing. They gave us a plow. Stop! What? That's tough. Yeah. Plowing. This is yeah, that's a lot of food generation. And then you'd be plowing by hand. Impossible. Skill and knowledge and technology. It does everything. And only, yeah. That's right. Yeah. He's got fresh eyes to all of this. And it rains. Go, horsey, go! Hey? Oh, Dad's here. I guess Kettle's here. Son is here. That's who Snake was talking to in the first place. It was this old guy. Yeah, he wants to work until he's dead. He doesn't want any of that, man. Hmm? Here to return the horse. I just choked on my own spit. Sorry. It happens. I like Sverkel. He's so cool. He seems like such a homie. He made gruel for us. It's got onions in it. Oh, a sword. He didn't come from farming. Heavy or heavy? Heavy! Yay! He likes it here. He hangs out. I don't know, though. I really don't know. Maybe he's his son. That would be crazy. There's no way, right? Like, Snake can't be Kettle's brother. That doesn't make sense. He smells food. Hi. You wish. Mm-hmm. だから食うもんね。Protection, protection, yeah. Well, we were waiting to be invited because we're slaves. Oh, real food? Yeah, you can actually give us real food? Almost like kindness comes back around and doing hard work for people is good. That's so cool. Thorfinn, no expression. We're finally talking to him. If you do it. Seems that way. Okay, so they're not related for sure. But they do have a fun working relationship. We're proper Norsemen. You might have been, but I don't know about your children. Yeah, there's one in this room. This is so cute. People bantering is so cute to be around. It's so good to be around chatter. Yeah, if something really came down, we wouldn't survive. Yeah, there's no safety here. He knows, he knows. He knows, he knows. For now, that's how it was in Einar's world anyway. Yeah. Ooh. Oh, yeah, that could change real bad. Yeah, Sverkel has an older perspective. That's why he stays on this farm and stays small. He's found his own route of winning. This guy's smart. Sverkel has got his own way, and it might be wrong in the modern world. Like it's stuck, but it's fucking smart. Go and finding the ladies. Yeah. Aww. I really like Snake. I really like Snake, but I really, really, really like Sverkel. Sverkel's the kind of old man that I want to be. I'm not even joking. It's accurate. Much. Yeah, and yeah. We also have the thread that's going to be pulled. Because, like, what if King Harold isn't fucking king anymore? What if Canute is? He's having a beauty. He's experiencing. Huh. Lesson incorporated. This is a beautiful track. Oh, we're planting? Yeah, spread them real good. Are we not? You guy? Oh, it's almost a smile, Thorfinn. So now everything goes wrong. Damn, we found a little bit of peace out here. We found, like, some people who are cool. Be a shame if they got murdered. I'm so scared now. Because it's been good and scary. Everything's fucked. People are slaves. It's rough. But, like, it's been bad, right? It's been rough and bad. And so that's reasonable. You're like, okay, it's rough and bad. Great. But now it's starting to go well. It started to go well, y'all. And we're lampshading that, like, oh yeah, having too much wealth and stuff, there's nobody to defend this place. There's no way. So they grow and they build. And somehow that has some impact on the murdering and destroying that they've done before. It doesn't look like he's having a ball. Wow. Bada ba bing ba bong ba. Oh! Oh my. He's shiny. Iron Fist Kettle. Whoa, okay. That's super interesting. I wonder if this is his brother or something. This guy's real pleased with himself. Looks like he got some He-Man to him or something. Okay, very interesting. I have no idea. Iron Fist Kettle. We haven't really met Iron Fist Kettle as such. Oh, it's so pretty. The show's really pretty. I feel this struggle. It's not the same as the director who does the fingernails and stuff, where the physicality of the characters is so deeply ingrained into the episode, but I still get an element of that from the struggling and the pulling. I think it conveys really well. I'm super curious about this symbol that we place here with the snake and the two birds. And then the birds fly away. I'm really quite curious about that. The show has a lot of fun with these little micro symbols in the beginning of episodes, and this one's pretty interesting. A snake creeping up on these two, and then the birds fly away. I have no idea. Grimaces and grimaces, really fun, and goddamn, trees do not want to get moved. I thought this was really cleverly done to be goofy, especially this moment where they're like, fuck, 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 fuck. It's like, come on, you fuck, we're gonna get you out. And by the end of the episode, we get from here to a plowed field that we're planting. Incredible. Incredible to push through time like this. It really feels real to me, and like these critical interactions that are happening are spaced out by days and weeks of work, of nothing but work, and then these accented days where something interesting happen. And we see that in the like growth of the characters' beards and stuff like that. And I think it's really cool. It feels coherent. It feels really coherent. So we're treated like shit. We knew that that's what was going to happen. The other farmhands, in addition, treat us like shit, and even worse, they're barely better, and they look down on them immensely, and say insane things like, you know, why don't you just use your own bodies for the thing? It's like, okay, great. And then they're overheard by an old man. Up and up. And he has got a hell of a set of features. What a guy. Old and wizened. I love his introduction, because immediately, I think this should read to a Japanese audience as, like, Japanese grandmother working the rice paddies when she's 85 or something like that, and just being like, no, this is the way. This is the way to live. And the grandmother is convinced of that, and everybody's like, Grandma, you gotta come inside and rest. And she's like, I'm gonna die if I rest. I like this. This is how I live. It's like, but Grandma, that's not living. You're just working. It's like, that's what living is, stupid kid. That's what I read into this guy. He's an 85-year-old Japanese grandma, doing the rice paddies. I think you find that in every society, everywhere, is you find old folks who've discovered that work keeps them alive and pleased, and they don't feel like they need much more. I have always had a deep admiration for that sort of person. Someone who has some kind of drive that's external to them that ends up creating a practice. Like, this is a practice, a daily practice of work, of labor, of performing specific physical actions over and over. I think that's what we're built for. Yeah? It's like what we're built for. It's hard when it's separated from your existence and your reality. We live in highly modernized societies where, like, the kind of physical work that most people can keep doing into their old age is like unattached, self-focused exercise, right? It's like running or biking or something like that. But that is not the way that humans were for most of our existence, right? You had to work to eat. We're kind of built for it in some real sense. So here we have this old man with some very individualist, very personal, very traditionalist in some sense values. And he's watching as his son expands this farm that probably he won by the sword or something like it. After all, he said, we're proper Northmen. Expanding this farm with technology and wealth by taking debts and building it out to be a thing that's bigger than what his father ever needed it to be. Like, his father, Sverkel, lives on a big chunk of the farm, a big chunk of land, almost too much for him to handle himself. That's why he brings the boys in to have them work. But it's enough, maybe more than enough for him, right? So why then does his son need so much? What is that? It's something like greed, isn't it? A desire to have more. To the point where he exploits others, to the point where he makes his position less strong, to the point where he has power, but it's fickle. Sverkel's power over his location is like, I'm the only one here. I don't have anybody else to worry about. As long as I'm here maintaining it, it's maintained. It's not big enough that I can't do it. Although as his age hits him, he probably is going to have a harder and harder time. But that's his contentment. He's content. What the fuck? What a crazy idea, right? How can you be content with being, like, financially independent? How can that be contentment? Don't you have to keep going? Don't you have to make it bigger and stronger? Like, don't you need double that amount of money or like triple that amount of money? And don't you need like a bunch of employees and like a bigger farm that makes a bunch more net, like, total revenue, but also you have to pay an immense amount of it in taxes to a king, and then you have to pay a bunch of it to a bunch of people to keep it safe? And you can see how in Sverkel's mind it all balances out in a way that doesn't balance out. It's like, son, you've missed the point. The point of having your own farm is so that it's your own. So it's yours, and like you're the only one responsible for it, and the only one who needs to protect it. And you don't have to pay anybody, and you're independent. You've gone back around. You've re-enslaved yourself, right? Like, Sverkel is free. He's free. He can do whatever the fuck he wants with his horses and his land and everything else. He can do whatever. He provided a life for his son, too. Like, clearly. He provided a life for Ketil that enabled Ketil to choose this path of, he started with a small loan of a million wheat seeds, right? Sverkel's happy. He's got it. He's hit what winning looks like for him. But Ketil has gone back around and re-enslaved himself. He's beholden to a king. He's been beholden to all of these people who maintain his land for him, and he doesn't have a hand in it in a real sense. He doesn't have a relationship with his son the way that Sverkel probably did, even though they've ended up seeing not eye to eye. It's fascinating. I think it's fascinating. I think this is a brilliant example of a character, because we haven't had one. I haven't had one like this who hasn't just died. Right? We had father at start who had found his own farm, right? And carved himself out a little plot of safety for himself and his family and tried to maintain it and sacrificed his own life to make sure it would stay that way, and it didn't work. But that was his aim. That was his goal for the whole time. A little safe place that's just safe and just enough. That was it. That's all they wanted. And now we have a new example of that kind of a character. And he finds himself at odds with the mercenary who lives a fighting life in Snake. And he finds himself at odds with his son who lives this mercantile life, this land ownership life. Sverkel doesn't want either of those. He wants land stewardship. He wants this integrated relationship with his land where he tills the land and the land takes care of him, where he doesn't need anybody else. Does that perfectly fit grumpy old man who doesn't want to be friends with anybody? Yeah, totally. But he also does want to be friends with people. And he's happy to give fairly generously, given some kind of fair trade to the people around him. He doesn't seem to see slaves as slaves. He doesn't care. He doesn't ask if they're slaves. He doesn't care. And he doesn't just give them the horse either. He does a quid pro quo. He does a, if this then that, a fair trade. These things all demonstrate what he cares about. Sverkel is immensely invested in equivalent exchange. And I say that because Fullmetal Alchemist is a piece of work that's dramatically changed my perspective on reality. So let me express it this way. There's the equivalent exchange between people, right? Sverkel lends you a horse, you help Sverkel with the rocks. Okay, that's an equivalent exchange between people. But it's much broader than that. There's an equivalence of exchange between the land and the person. And that's what really matters. Because it's more than an interpersonal law, it's a fundamental law. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed, etc., etc. But if you zoom out and blur your eyes a little bit and allow it to be a little bit woo-woo, in many ways, if you're playing a proper game, like a game that makes sense, then what making sense means is that the effort you put in and the results you get out are somewhat balanced. Now, sometimes you can find a game that's way imbalanced, where you put in a little bit of effort and a lot of results come back. But those are sometimes pretty dangerous, right? They end up backfiring sometimes. Like, Conquering is one of those games. You put in some effort, you go and kill a bunch of people in one day, and you get a ton out of it. Now you have all this pre-tilled, pre-fertilized, pre-farmed land. Sick. Great results. Until you get conquered too, right? Or something else goes wrong. Sverkel seems deeply invested in equivalence, in like actually not feeling right unless he's doing the work on the thing. And I think that's the perspective that informs his trade with the slave boys, right? Is that it's not that he needs the rocks done, it's that for them to deserve a horse, they should be doing something equivalent for it. Does that make sense? Because we see this scene, and this is all subtext. It's not actually presented in the show in directly. We see this scene where they're doing this work and doing all of this, and then they're pulling out the stuff with the horse, and they're being so happy, and it's so easy, right? But they're doing the same amount of work in some way. They're just more amenable to this work. There's a trade going on, and it's a worthwhile trade on both sides in every way. For every party, it's worthwhile. Everybody benefits. That's what winning looks like. That's one example of what winning looks like, isn't it? So how do we get there? Okay, have enough that you can support yourself and maybe a little bit extra so you can make worthwhile trades. That's a really good perspective. That's a really good perspective. I don't think it looks like paying tribute to stay safe. I don't think it looks like expanding out your farmland so that you don't have to put in more effort, but you get back bigger rewards. Doesn't quite look like that. That looks like greed. It looks like greed. That's really fascinating. It's all in the subtext of the episode, and yet I think it's clear as day. You can disagree, and that's fine. That's what's so cool about storytelling. Like, you can see something completely different in this. But I'm fascinated by Sverkel and his choice to lend them this horse and the way that it's presented to us. I love, just going to switch gears, I love Einar's eyes throughout this episode. There are a couple moments where they're goofy, but they've got this shine to them that wasn't there, as he's like, we can farm, man. This is cool. This is my stuff. And Thorfinn gets to learn about all of this. There's something really magical. There's something really magical about the moment we talk about the plow and how expensive and interesting it is and how we've got 10 of them here. But also this revelation that Thorfinn has of like, wow, it would be so hard to do all this work by hand. It's amazing that we've invented plows. And he realizes in a deep sort of respect for someone else's vocation, like only a farmer could have made the thing that makes farmers' lives better like this. And it makes me wonder if there's perhaps some path there where Thorfinn as a warrior could find some way to make warriors' lives less horrid. But I don't know. That might not be where it's going, but wouldn't that be interesting, right? There's an idea there that whether you know it or not, the things that you spent your life investing time into might bear dividends because there are others like those and you might be able to help them in some way, right? Like, oh, a wasted life being a farmer, except that you learned all the things that you needed to just discover and come up with an invention that changed the world. That's pretty fucking cool. Okay, so these assholes are assholes, and then they figure out that the old man is the old man. The old man. That's pretty cool. And then we plow the farm. It's plowing time. You're like a great big baby. Kettle wants his dad to move into the house, basically, and chill the fuck out. And his dad's like, dude, we don't get along. Just let me die out here in the fields. This is what I'm trying to do. We're just going to fight. I don't like living the way that you live. I disagree with you fundamentally. Leave me be. Let me die out here. When I die, you can raise my buildings and like expand your farm into it. I don't care. Don't get into any funny business. And then he very generously invites them in, invites them to wash their clothes. And we see for the first time the sword on the wall. How was this space won? Who carved this out? Blood. Blood. Blood by Sverkel's hands. And yet he's not a warrior. He's a farmer now. He chose that, right? He's a person who's had a choice and he chose that. Okay, Snake being here is great. The interaction and back and forth between them is wonderful. You an honest job. Yes. But we are true Northmen. And then we sprinkle in the real scare. There are two things keeping this place safe. One is a group of 13 men, pathetic, compared to an army of 50, even a couple of longboats, like it's over. It's over fast. That's one. And then, far from here, King Harold maintains our safety and security because we pay him. Well, we know something that these people don't know is that's not going to stay that way for very long, is it? And then once King Harold isn't there, it's pretty likely that these 13 folks are going to be the only people standing between us and a much bigger army than 40 or 50 Vikings. Much bigger. And there is too much wealth here. There's a lot of land, and there's a lot of food, and that food feeds hungry, hungry soldiers who also really, really, like Sverkel conquered before, they're looking for their own farm life, their own idyllic piece of land to settle into and have their kids on. They're looking for that same thing. So they're going to take it from him. And I don't know what's going to explode. Like, that's going to shatter our whole little peaceful, fucked up reality that we've built. And we'll see what our characters do and how their love holds out when shit hits the fan. What an episode. That was so fun. What an episode. That was Vinland Saga, Season 2, Episode 6. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I really enjoyed getting to meet all these new characters and see them sort of clash and interact in beautiful ways. And move so far through to sowing seed. I also really like this moment where he tells him that you can throw more seed than that. It's like, but this is all we have. It's like, yeah, but this is ours. Like, plant the seeds real good. We need them. We need them to go. Throw it all. It's cool. It's cool. The show's cool. There's a peace and acceptance that's building, and it scares the fuck out of me because it means that everything's going to shatter again. Because that's how this show cycles, right? Okay. I'll be here for the shattering when it happens. And I hope you'll join me. Thanks so much for watching this week's episode of Vinland Saga Season 2. I'll see you next week for more. Much love. Peace.